Hello and welcome to our beloved parishioners. I'm Bailee.
I'm Ashley.
And this is Praise Be to Pod. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bailee, what's in your heart today?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this concept. But before I get into it, I do want to clarify that I am not the original person who thought about this.
Okay.
It's important to me to clarify that because the author of it wrote an article about it in the Harvard Journal. And I'll link below. But it's basically about how I think the title of it is Stop Telling Women They Have Imposter Syndrome.
Oh.
And I really want to give credit to it. The author of it is a very profound, well-written Black woman. So I want to make sure that I'm not stealing that concept from her. But I have been hearing the term imposter syndrome thrown on a lot. And I don't know if I love it. And a lot of it is because I think that from my own personal life, a lot of the times in my life where I have felt imposter syndrome or felt like I was missing a step or I didn't belong, it wasn't really in my head. I was getting like very real cues that I wasn't welcome there. Or I was like experiencing things that like I wasn't making up. So like for an example, a lot of people will say like, men will apply to jobs that they're not fully qualified for, but women will only apply to jobs that they like fulfill like 100% of the qualifications. And they, talk about that to incentivize women to like apply to more jobs that they don't meet every qualification. But I've had experiences where I've taken that advice and I've done like my networking for a job and I have been met with like condescension that I applied to a job without being fully qualified. And I actually had that happen recently where I applied to a job and I made some connections and I reached out to someone on LinkedIn, the hiring manager, and they basically told me like, I don't know why you applied to this. Like you're not fully qualified. And by that, it was like I had a couple less years of experience than like what they were asking for. And I had been told to like apply to jobs that like you don't meet every qualification. And after that experience happened, I remember thinking like, I am not making it up that I should not be wasting my time applying to a job that I do not exceed the qualifications that are like listed. And it just like made me think of all the times where I felt like it was in a work environment where like most of my team was like male. And I was feeling a lot of like weird passive aggressive comments where I was, maybe asked to like during a meeting, like write the notes or like something that's like very secretary like work. And it made me think that like, oh, maybe like my ideas are not as like appreciated here. And so maybe I shouldn't speak up. Like I wasn't really making that up. Like I was getting pretty consistent social cues that my opinion or my like work was not as valued as my male counterparts. And so I think that imposter syndrome can still exist, but I don't think it's as commonplace as people make it out to be. Like, I think that a lot of people who experience, women in particular, who experience imposter syndrome are actually picking up on real cues that they are not welcome in a certain environment or that their like work is not as valued.
Yeah, I mean, I've applied for jobs that I had every single qualification for and I still got the email like, we're not going to talk to you about this role.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the canned email. But I think a lot of this commentary and discourse comes from Sheryl Sandberg's book Lean In. So that was like one of the first books that really talked about women in the workplace and how women were holding themselves back. And that book was published in 2013.
Yeah.
So I think that this idea of imposter syndrome was a lot more popular and important in 2013 when women weren't seen as a equal smart person, like not that they are now, but I think it was much worse even then. She was like in the tech industry in the beginning of Facebook. So I think women were holding themselves back even more than they are now.
Well, I do think that like women in like how we view our abilities does hold us back. But I think that like society is what actually holds us back. So like, I have never read Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. Sorry. But I think that like, it's not just like the limitations that we give ourselves that hold us back in the workplace. It's that like when we speak, we're more likely to be interrupted. Yeah. Like it's actual like real things. Or if we apply to a job that like we do meet a certain set of qualifications, we're less likely to be considered than our male counterparts. So like a lot of, and I do appreciate the incentive, like apply anyway, like push through. But, you know, I also think that sometimes can lack intersectionality in that not every woman has time to just apply to a ton of jobs that she's probably not going to get an interview for. And so like a lot of that is a little bit like lofty to think that that is a good use of your time when like we're all like struggling with getting like one interview here and there. So
I mean, I was texting you last night because I had an interview today, and I was like, I just don't even think I can do this job.
Yeah.
And you were like, that's insane. Of course you can do that job.
You can.
I think that's more clearly imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And I really was like, I don't know if I can do it. And then everyone around me was like, who cares? You can.
You can. So you use the term imposter syndrome, but I do think that what you were feeling was based on real treatments you have experienced in the workplace before. So like the certain job you were applying for in the certain industry was like, not the job wasn't new, but the industry would be new to you. And so you're asking me for like questions about it.
No, I mean like I still haven't had that big of a job. Like I've never worked anywhere that big. So I was like, I can't do it.
So it was just about like the scale of it versus like the industry?
Yeah, it was just me. It was truly imposter syndrome.
Oh, yeah. No, you're so qualified for that job. And also like, there are some very condescending people in that line of work. Yeah. So like if you feel that way, it's not your fault. People are probably being dicks. Like I've told you many times, like that line of work has a particular set, a certain personality works in that type of environment. And I've worked in that type of environment, and like that like the personality stuff is probably going to be your biggest barrier in that line of work.
Well, but still.
Yeah, I mean you'll see. You'll see. So anyway, that's all I was saying is like I think imposter syndrome is real, and also like if you're feeling inadequate, like I don't think you're pulling that out of your ass. Like I think that people treat women as inadequate. Like I don't think you made that up.
Yeah.
And also you are so capable, and probably more capable than a lot of the people that you would be working with on your team.
Maybe I'll get it and see.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, what's on your heart?
Okay, so since I moved into Danny's house, so he had a house before we got married.
Danny is your husband.
Yeah, and then I moved in with him before we got married. Whoa. Insane.
Crazy. You really aren't a Christian anymore.
I know.
Did you guys kiss before marriage
okay,
too?
Bailee. Anyway,
Continue.
I moved into his very brown home 3 years ago. And I've been slowly adding more and more color. And I've been thinking and dreaming about painting the living room, the dining room, the bathroom, like basically every room since I moved in. And this weekend he's going out of town and I'm going to do it. I'm painting.
Do it, yeah.
I've created a crew of painters to help me. And anyone that wants to help can come along. And I will probably hate it, because that's who I am.
Like hate the how it looks afterwards, or hate the experience?
Both.
I have seen the color that you want to go with. I don't think you're gonna. I think it's fine.
It's just who I am, you know? Like I'll like it for a little bit, and then I'll be like, I want to do where you do it.
Okay, we'll see.
I've gotten a lot of fights in my household with this problem I have, because I am never happy with anything. And he was like, when will it end? And I was like, never. Yeah.
I do understand you have brought so much color into that home. And I remember the first time I went over, like it didn't like strike me as anything, but when you pointed out that there was a lot of brown, I was like, oh yeah, there is.
Brown furniture, brown walls, brown floor, lots of wood,
boys love brown.
It all matched. Anyway, so that's just what's on my heart. Colors. I bought all the paint today. Paint has really suffered from inflation.
Paint is, especially good paint, which is kind of what you kind of don't want to cut corners on paint.
Yeah, because it's just extra time painting.
Well, and it ends up being just as costly because you have to do more coats.
Exactly. So that's what's on my heart. Do you have anything to trust and obey today?
I do. So this is not necessarily a super new piece of music, but in July of 2025, Noah Cyrus released an album, I Want My Loved Ones to Go With Me, and I think it's so good. I think that Noah Cyrus is like alarmingly good. I don't think that people understand how good she is.
She had one of those songs I like played over and over and over and over and over again. She's
extremely soulful. And she's like, she does not seem like an LA Nepo baby because of how, like, it seems like Johnny Cash wrote these songs. Like, she is so, her lyrics are so powerful. I'm sure she has a team, but like also her, like, artistic
her voice.
Yeah, it's her voice, and also just like, I know that she writes a lot of her songs too. And it is so like soulful and melancholy, and it's like such great country folk music. It's really sad, and also kind of like uplifting at the same time, which as a Cancer I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would highly recommend I Want My Loved Ones to Go With Me by Noah Cyrus. Every song is so good. But if you would like to know my favorite song, it is What Was It All For?
Oh, great.
Or What's It All For?
Do you know a lot about her dad, Billy Ray?
I know more than I'd like to. Are you aware of my obsession with the Cyrus women?
No.
I think the Cyrus women are amazing.
Well,
I really like them. My dream podcast to be on would be Tish and Brandy Cyrus's podcast.
Didn't one of them like date an ex of
their
daughter or something?
I will say, like, that is one of those things, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying it didn't happen. They have not. No one has ever confirmed it in that family. And
that the mom dated Miley's ex?
No,
Noah's ex.
That Tish is currently married to somebody that Noah dated first.
Okay.
Which is crazy. And if that is true, that is ridiculous. And that is like so wrong and creepy. But it's so bad that it, like, I think I also just like them so much that I am resisting believing that that's possible. And it is possible that happened, which is crazy. But they have reconciled. But I love those girls.
Well,
mm-hmm.
Do you know that Billy Ray is dating Elizabeth Hurley?
No. I know he dated someone who was on Hannah Montana who was Miley's age.
Yikes.
Yes, that's like the big affair that like ultimately separated them. Is I think that he, like, the girl who plays Miley's bully in Hannah Montana, he, like, I don't think anything happened on set. Hopefully not, because she would have been a minor.
Yeah, I'm right.
But they like dated for a while after. I think they were even engaged.
Yikes. Yep. Messy fam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the trauma.
Yeah. Also, when Tish was pregnant with Miley and she was married to Billy Ray, he was having an affair and had a kid with someone else too. So like, that man has put that family through the ringer.
Wow.
He's not great. But I think the girls are great in that family.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, do you have anything to trust and obey?
I do. I would like to trust and obey my Awala water bottle. Because I finally found a water bottle that I can put ice in, has a straw, and doesn't leak.
Okay. You know, I'm always on the hunt for a good water bottle, and those are all kind of the things that I'd like it to fit in a cup holder in the car.
Yep, fits in a cup holder.
Do they get bigger than that? I also love a big water bottle.
But that one doesn't fit in the cup holder.
Okay, so that's like, I'm not a Stanley girl, but I do like that it's narrow on the bottom, large on the top to fit in a car
and
holder.
It leaks everywhere.
Does it?
Yes, Stanley's.
I didn't know that. That's a good recommendation. I have seen a lot of gals with that water bottle.
Yeah, I got one for my dad for Christmas because we're going on a trip soon. And I was like, you need it for the plane.
Does he like it?
He was shocked. He was so amazed by it.
Amazed?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, oh, wow. Oh, all the features. Yeah.
All the gadgets.
And his is black.
Oh, that's
because he's a man.
That's a boy color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy color. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So if you remember last week, we talked about the hot devil and why he's so hot because of John Milton being such a pervert. And we didn't plan to cut it into 2 episodes, but we just kept talking about Hillary Clinton.
Obsessed with the devil. And
John
lore,
Milton. Yeah.
And his like broken, tortured soul.
Yeah.
And bisexual energy.
Oh, wow. So he's kind of like a Harry Styles.
A little bit, yeah. He has like Aquarius energy for sure. And it feels like he's very conflicted, and then he's willing to try anything and everything.
Oh, okay.
At least once.
Adventurous.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. So I just want to take a step back and go through again, like, what were we taught about the devil? Just in case we need a refresher.
Okay.
So if I remember right, Bailee was taught that the devil was the best singer in heaven.
And so was my sister.
Number 1 singer in heaven. Natalie endorsed
lead worshiper.
Lead worshiper.
Yeah. And he had the best singing voice ever.
And he was so proud of his singing voice.
Yes.
You know, some bitch was just mad at the lady who
And
was
she
better
talked
than
about
her.
but she was like, hey, like the devil was talking, Lucifer was talking mad shit about you, God. And God was like, well, we can't have that. And kicks him out of the heavenly realm.
And then kicks him into hell.
Yeah.
Which, what were you taught about hell
That
being
God
created?
that God created hell for this specific occurrence.
For Satan.
And his legion of angels.
Okay.
Who
Is legion just the same word as like like a grouping?
Yeah, it's like 1,000 or 10,000 or I don't remember the actual number. It's like 10 or 10,000.
Okay.
Like, but it's
a numerical amount.
A numerical amount, but I think it's mostly associated with like a divine entity, like an angel or a demon.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was just taught that, he's always prowling about like a lion.
He loves to prowl.
He loves to prowl like a lion, trying to get a foothold into everything, create stumbling blocks. What are their dog whistles? Do you remember?
That he's disguised as an angel of light.
Oh yeah,
so he loves to pretend that he's good and suggest good ideas. Like, did God really say you couldn't eat this apple? Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And which we'll talk about that a little bit today too. So a lot of it is like he disguises himself as like clever or intellectual, which is very like anti-academic. And he has a lot of good ideas that are like the road to hell.
He's just an ideas guy.
He's just an ideas guy. But he likes to usurp like the divine authority of God.
Nice. Okay. So what about this, like when you talk about the snake in the garden?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Okay. Well, I have a lot of thoughts about that because we talked a lot last episode about kind of like how our idea of the devil has evolved. And one of the, I think, like biggest gaps in theology that really surprised me when I learned this is that like the devil is not the snake in the Garden of Eden, but he is often attributed that, but nowhere in Genesis is the snake interchangeably called the devil or Satan. He's just like, the snake is just like the serpent.
Right.
And the serpent represents kind of like a conniving, clever, crafty animal that like questions like Adam and like, or Eve, sorry. And like kind of brings like a polarizing like idea, but he's never really like given like a negative, that he's cursed eventually. But like, I think after like everything goes down, he is cursed just like Adam and Eve are, that he has to like wiggle around on the ground. Apparently he had legs before them. He was like some type of lizard guy. But like he was just more of like a trickster, and he introduces like knowledge in the polarity of good and evil. And so he's just kind of like ethical dilemma. Conversely, in the like ancient Near East area, like like snakes were often associated with like wisdom, renewal, transformation, because like the scales come off kind of a thing, and like revelation and insight, which makes sense because like when the scales come off, you're able to like see more clearly. And when like Adam and Eve eat the apple, they have knowledge of good and evil. Like they see the world for what it is. And that creates like, that takes their innocence from them. But that like, honestly, like wisdom is the removal of innocence. Like it's where we learn more about the world, but those are not like inherently negative things. It's really just like the pain that comes with growing up and getting older and like learning that like your parents aren't always correct.
Right.
And like a lot of these like really like painful realizations that we have, but it's very rarely associated with like negativity.
Yeah. And I think like an early insight to this story was readers thought it was just about responsibility, not some cosmic plan to like tempt you and create an evil story and a break between good and evil and blah, blah, blah,
Exactly. And the reason why they eventually linked it to the devil is I think that there's like, I think it's in Revelation and some of the apocalyptic literature. Some of the writings refer to like the devil or that serpent of old. But that's not like specifically referring to the snake in the garden. There are serpents all throughout ancient text. And like, there's also a passage where Jesus says, like, be innocent like a dove and shrewd as a serpent. Like, you're commanded to be like a serpent. Like, they are not. Like, it's not bad to be a snake.
Yeah.
It's just like cleverness, and the evading of danger. So that is kind of like, I remember when I first learned that for the first time, I was like blown away, because I was always told that the devil incarnated a snake and like tried to pull humanity away from God in the garden by making them question God. And that was the original sin, was questioning God.
Yeah.
And also feminine rebellion. Which, side note, I think the original sin is this. In the Bible, when God is just like, where are you guys? Because, you know, they sinned and he can't find them. And then he's like pestering Adam, trying to get like the truth out of him of like what happened. And Adam says verbatim, this woman you gave me, she made me eat the apple. Even though the responsibility was given to Adam in the garden, or he was given like hierarchy over Eve. And so like the original dynamic between men and women is that Adam is given responsibility and blames Eve for something that was his job.
He's like, oh, it's still me.
This is like, it couldn't be me, even though he was given like responsibility.
Yeah,
so,
typical.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, I'm just like, that is like really like literally like one of the first examples of like men blaming women for like what was their job. Goofy. Anyway.
Okay, so then we go into the New Testament. So in the New Testament, we hear more about Satan. Satan.
Hasatan.
What were you taught? Anything new?
I was taught
like Revelation stuff.
Yeah,
I was
taught that like the devil, I think like one of his first appearances, if I'm remembering correctly, is when he tempts Jesus in the wilderness. And he brings him different like scenarios. Like he brings him to the top of the temple and says like, if you're really the son of God, you should be able to like jump off the temple and God will catch you. And Jesus is like, you shouldn't test the Lord your God. Or like there's another one where he says like he tempts Jesus with breaking his fast in the wilderness. But a lot of it is just like, it's just like testing the limitations of like how God is going to intervene for you, which is honestly what happens in Job as well. So it's like, it's not as wicked, I think, as like the New Testament plays it out. And then like another example is that like Jesus again encounters the devil in the Garden of Gethsemane on the night before he dies, where like the devil says like, basically says like, you can call this off if you want it to. And Jesus like even prays like, if I can let, like, is there any way this cup can pass from me? So like Jesus is literally pleading from God the same thing that the devil is suggesting that he does. Is basically just like, you can end this if you want to. And he's like, just like how we said earlier, he's just like the adversary. He brings the alternative scenario and opinion into the picture, but it's not as wicked as it normally is played out. But I was told that he is just like, he is the original evil.
Yeah. And I think understanding it as he's just showing you your options is very important to connect to what the people at the time were believing and how they needed to know that they do have free will and that Jesus is choosing all these things. It's not all just like happening for him. Otherwise it means nothing.
Right. This is like a conscious choice that he has made.
So without the adversary, that's not clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And even in like the book of Job, where like the devil comes to God as if they are like on an equal playing field, and God is bragging about Job, and he was just like, oh, like Job would do anything I asked him to do. And the devil was just like, okay, well, what if you like kind of ruined his life? Would he still serve you? And God is like, oh, we'll see. So like, to me, like God is a bigger villain in that dynamic because he is the one who brings the boils and the famine and the plague and the death into Job's life because he's trying to prove a point to Satan. But like a lot of times in scripture, like evil is ascribed to an act of Satan, but it's actually God who is the one who like ultimately brings hell on earth to certain people.
And like in those scenarios, the adversary doesn't have power. He has to ask permission.
Yeah. He is literally just like a prosecutor, basically. Like he brings an alternative.
So, being taught that he's always prowling about, invested in my life and trying to bring me down, with like sex and drugs and alcohol and rock music. It's crazy.
And Harry Potter.
It's super crazy.
It is really crazy. And I think like one of the things, the biggest pitfalls I think that people get in with Satan theology is that it seems to be, well, there's two things that I think can happen. The first one is that I think it's a way to explain away the brutality of God in scripture, because there's so much like irreconcilable brutality and cruelty from God in the Bible, regardless of whether or not you are a Christian. I am sure you have read certain passages in the Bible and you're like, God did that? Like that guy sucks a little bit. And I think that a lot of Christians have a really hard time reconciling that, like, God does order the genocide of infants in the Old Testament. That is true. That is a story in the Bible. He brings plagues and famine and death regularly. He does not operate in a way that I believe a benevolent God would, but it is written. It is what is in scripture. So I think that a lot of like Christians who have a hard time reconciling with that will just blame things on the devil.
Yeah.
In scripture that like the devil is not responsible for in scripture.
Right.
The second pitfall, I think that can happen a lot, is that Christians who are not responsible for their own like moral code will blame the devil for their own like shortcomings, sins, and ways that they like fucked up. And that I think is maybe where it gets the most dangerous. And that's, I think, where I saw like the worst devil theology come about. Did you see that in your Christian experience? Yeah.
Anytime that someone was significantly hurting another person, it was because they were tempted or because they were tricked or I remember thinking that that's why my ex-husband wanted to divorce me.
It's because of the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the devil had a foothold.
The devil had a foothold. That's what I always learned.
The devil had a foothold.
Yes. And that also, that was a common thing that I saw with a lot of like accountability culture, or when there were like mistreatments of like that were embedded in like a power dynamic. So if there was like a leader in a church, like a pastor who ends up, abusing a teenager in the youth group, a lot of that is like the devil got a foothold into his life. The devil entered through like a porn addiction is what they'll always say, or something like that. Instead of actually addressing like, no, this is like an abuse dynamic. And that was how they kind of like the way
like
that the devil,
sick.
Yes, like a lot of it was like sickness.
Like he needs help.
Yes. Yeah. But the devil was ultimately blamed. And honestly, like the perpetrator ended up also kind of becoming a victim in that story. Cause it's like, well, the devil got to them. Like they couldn't, like, what could they possibly do? Like the devil can get like, the devil can get any of us. And they always painted those stories as like, this can happen to anyone because the devil is just like waiting for people, for like opportunities to attack people. And so there was so much evasion of accountability by just being able to like blame the devil for every discrepancy, sin, moral failure, or even like abusive dynamic.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this idea a lot because the Stranger Things show ended and the finale kind of had this dynamic in it.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Did you watch it? Okay, good. Wanted to save Jacob because I know he's on vacation.
I haven't, I think I haven't watched past the second season, but I did love the first and second, and then I think it kind of lost my attention.
Oh, I think the third one might be the best one. It's when they're in the mall. It's the most fun when they're in the mall.
Maybe I did see maybe I didn't see
That's
after the third
season.
one. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, in the finale, it kind of shows like where evil stems from in this world that you're in. And like the Vecna, like the villain of the story, and Will Byers, the kid who like originally gets
kidnapped,
possessed or whatever by Vecna, they both have the same evil they're exposed to, but Will denies it and Vecna wants it. And so like they both have the same evil they can give into, and one wants to be good and one wants to have that power.
Yeah.
And like you don't necessarily need this Satan to be powerful. Like I think that a lot of corruption is from just the desire of the power. And it's a lot easier to say like, oh, the reason that our country is like gone literally to hell,
Literally.
is because of the devil bringing us down, because it's a Christian country.
Yeah.
It's really easy to say that.
Yeah.
But really, it's like people who just really wanted power and are like crazy with it.
That's honestly like a really rock solid metaphor, because like the desire for power and the corruption that ensues because of that is such a primary motivator in a lot of like the evil that we see in the world.
Yeah.
And I think like the original story of Satan is that he wanted power and wasn't able to get it, or at least the Satan in like John Milton's poem. And I feel like there's like this infantilization that comes with like, well, Satan just like got, in my brain about this kind of a thing, versus like, no, we all like have our own personal desire for power. And like, if unchecked, can lead to like really damaging corruption. And like, we're not just like children who like can't control when the devil gets into our lives. Like, we have that like agency to like make those like specific choices. But I think that like devil mythology in Christianity makes it seem like we almost don't have a choice.
And like, you're picked.
Yeah.
Like, Christian theology a lot of times makes you feel picked or not picked.
Yes.
Like you have a calling and you're special and you're like charismatic. So it's you, like I was told that all the time. Like, you're a great leader and you're going to do all these things. And it's like, well, right now I'm unemployed. So it's probably because I'm not a Christian anymore.
That's got to be it.
But just saying, like, it's the same in reverse.
Yeah.
Like, you're so powerful, so you were picked by the devil or like targeted.
Yeah. That was a really common thing. Like, if you had a really big calling on your life in evangelical Christianity, it was believed that you would be a greater target for the devil, which is like such a clear escape or like way to make it seem like when a pastor falls from grace, it's like, well, his calling was greater or her calling was greater. So like the devil attacked them harder than they would attack like the average person. And it's like kind of showing like a pastor or like a person in leadership. It's harder for them to resist than like we do, which is very also like, if we want to bring patriarchy into it, like there's this belief that like men have less self-control than women do. Like, because they're being attacked more by like sexual thoughts and like women are, and it's our job to like help them out a little bit. And I feel like it's the same thing like with like a lot of devil lore, like you are believed to have a more challenging time resisting evil if you are like higher up on the hierarchy of like importance in evangelical Christianity.
Did you grow up feeling more scared of hell or the devil?
I feel like probably hell. My understanding was that it was unlikely that you would interact personally with the devil, but that you would more likely interact with the demon that was sent by the devil. And so like the devil really scared me, and things that were demonic really scared me, but I didn't think I would ever necessarily see the devil with my own eyes. But I knew it was very possible I would see hell with my own eyes. What about you?
I think as I grew into like charismatic evangelicalism, I was more scared of the devil and demonic things. Yeah. Because it was preached to me a lot more than hell.
Okay.
Because everyone was already saved.
Yeah.
Essentially. And instead it was like, don't do this or you'll open a gateway.
Got it. Yeah. Did you ever have like when you were just deconstructing a time where you either did believe in the devil but not in hell, or you did believe in hell but not the devil? Like, did one deconstruct before the other, or were they like linked?
No, I think they're linked to me, but I still do believe in like the spirit world. Yeah. And I think it's kind of similar. I don't think I believe in like, the red horn guy with the trident. Yeah. Lurking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pitchfork. Yeah. They're the same, right?
No, I just was like filling in a word. Yeah. I think a trident's like underwater.
Yeah. Ariel's dad.
Yeah. Ariel's hot. A little bit too Zeus like for me though.
Kind of hot, but also very controlling.
A little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to like evil or like wicked forces that are like spiritual, what do you believe about that? Like, do you think that there is like a darkness, whether it's the devil or some other type of like subconscious unseen force? Do you think that that is operating under the surface at all?
There's definitely something, because I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it with my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen someone's face contort because they're evil.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was. I mean, like, we believe there's a ghost in our basement.
There definitely is a ghost in your basement.
Definitely a ghost in our basement.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely believe in the supernatural.
Yes, me too.
In some sense. I don't necessarily think they're like out to get me, but I like the other day I went downstairs in the morning to feed the dogs, and I swear to God there was a cat in our house. I heard like a really deep growling meow.
Oh.
Over and over again. And I was like, I have to go get Danny. Like, I'm not going in the living room to look by myself. And when he came down, it stopped.
That's really scary.
And I was like, either there was a cat in here, or there was a cat in like the windowsills. Like, our house is so old, like some of the windows don't shut all the way.
Yeah. But a cat like in heat
And it
is
was
the
like,
worst sound in the world.
It was awful. And I
Yeah.
was like, or it's a ghost. I don't know.
very possible.
But we've talked about this before. Like, we've both seen it.
Yeah.
And like, I've seen it definitely in other cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that my American experience is just the only one, you know?
Right. There are different like iterations of spirituality and different cultural experiences as well.
What about you?
I feel like, so I do believe in like the supernatural. Whether or not I believe in like the binary of good and evil as being super stark, that's a little bit more gray, and like just subjective, I guess. I think that here's kind of like where I am like arriving at this. So a lot has been coming out lately about like the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
And like something that continues to blow me away is just like the level of depravity and wickedness and evil, and just like desire for torture in a way that like I just don't feel in my heart. Like, in my mind, I can't imagine any amount of money or power that would make me ever want to like hurt vulnerable people that way and find so much pleasure and enjoyment out of it. But apparently there's this entire subculture of rich people who love to torture other people. And it makes me wonder if power and money do truly inevitably corrupt.
Yeah. Or even the Diddy doc.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I haven't, but I'm like familiar with
it's
like
awful.
Yeah. And I just like, to me, I'm just like, have you ever even heard of a story of a super, super rich, powerful man who didn't become wicked?
Yeah.
And so like, to me, I'm just like,
it's like a remarkable story when they're not.
Yeah.
You know?
And so, or there is something going on where they look really philanthropic at the surface, but then underneath there's like a lot of like weird shit going on because they know how to protect their image because maybe they have a good PR team or whatever.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm just like, is power the like ultimate evil that like nobody, like no man can resist the corruption of power? And like, that's one of the reasons like divinely we're not meant to pursue it. And it was like in the story of like Satan who like wanted that, like it is the gateway to evil. And so like I cannot resonate with the brutality of somebody who wants to hurt people at that level, but maybe power would eventually reveal that wickedness in me. It's just dormant at this time.
Yeah. I mean, working in fundraising for a nonprofit, the amount of mean, wretched people I met in like a Christian nonprofit, and I was like serving them, and they were so awful. That's definitely more the story that I knew. Yeah. And the ones that were amazing and wonderful, like they stand out. Yeah. And I will always remember that about them. No matter what their beliefs are, like they are very kind, generous people.
Yeah. It's kind of like how like in Hollywood, like if you hear a story of somebody being married for over 30 years, it's like remarkable because it's not commonplace. Like a rich person not corrupting is the anomaly. Like it is like the novel story. Yeah. Yeah. So like I think that like things that like
it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. Like I think that there are some things that feel so evil it has to be devil influenced. But I do think that like the cruelty of humanity kind of like knows no bounds. And like that is really hard to reconcile because I just cannot relate to an evil like that. But also maybe it's because I haven't been given the option to.
Yikes. Well, we're like way off topic.
Are we?
A little bit. Way off the outline, not topic. I was going to talk about what some other religions believe.
Okay.
Are we interested in that?
Yes.
Okay, so when we go into other religions that started with, we call them Abrahamic religions, traditions. So Judaism believes that Satan is not God's rival or hell ruler, but he's an accuser, tester, obstacle, like the more real version that's actually in the Bible.
Yeah, like Job.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Evil's
I think Job
mostly,
is the only time he's in the Old Testament, right?
Yeah, unless you think of the snake in the garden as, you
But
know.
I don't think
Yeah.
that.
So responsibility stays with people, not demons.
Yes.
Catholics do believe in Satan, but there isn't as much of an emphasis on it. Like when you remember last week, I talked about the divide between the Protestants and the Catholics.
Yep.
That's when Satan really got number one place in everyone's heart in Protestantism and what?
Protestantism.
With the Protestants. And the Catholics are like, it's fine, he's around, but we don't need to focus on him because we'll focus on sin and evil just as personal things. And then, you know, Catholics believe, yeah, sure, warfare exists, but like we don't need to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
And then Mormons have the most fun belief. They believe
Mormon
Jesus
theology.
and Satan are brothers.
Like Loki and Thor.
Yeah. They're both spirit children of God the Father, and Jesus is the firstborn, and Lucifer rebels over the plan of salvation. He doesn't like it.
That is so like Cain and Abel core.
Yeah.
Like that's where I feel like that like the older brother is like the righteous, like noble one, or like the prodigal son. The elder brother is like the like pious, righteous one, and the younger one is the little rascal who ends up, or Esau and Jacob.
Yeah. The furry
guy.
Furry guy. I remember that one.
Yeah, and like Jacob steals his like birthright.
Yeah,
but like
because of the fur on his arm.
Yeah, Esau's like Jacob's the more clever, cunning one, and Esau's the more straight-laced one.
Yeah. And Islam offers one of the most coherent alternatives where the key differences are that humans are born pure, there's no original sin, and evil enters through influence and not inheritance. So they call Satan Iblis.
Iblis.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't correcting you. Sorry, I genuinely wasn't correcting you. I was like getting excited because there's this TikTok creator I love with the cat, Sister Minnie.
Yeah.
And so whenever like Sister Minnie's like acting up, she says that she's being possessed by Iblis. So it's funny.
So Iblis is not a fallen angel, but a jinn, Jinn. Do you know more about that?
I think they're like
just like a
dark
spirit, like a dark spirit.
Yeah.
And refuses to bow to Adam out of pride. So there still is a pride aspect.
But it's to Adam.
Yeah. And the emphasis is more on personal responsibility and moral agency, that Satan is a tempter, but he doesn't override human will or
so he's
make
more like
be
under the foot of humanity versus God, like a moral adversary of Allah. Because Allah is like so much more above any other spiritual entity that I don't think even the devil could rival God in Islam.
So that's kind of what everyone else believes. And I think, you know, we were obviously just taught that the devil's prowling about all the time. And one of the biggest things that Bailee was like, we have to include this is, if you guys remember her number one favorite movie, The Passion of the Christ.
It's not like Bailey's number one favorite movie. It's like maybe top 100. I just don't think it's as bad as people.
Bailey's number one favorite movie, The Passion of the Christ.
My favorite movie is Sinners, obviously.
It's a tie.
It's not even close. I want to be very clear to the parishioners. My favorite movie is not The Passion of the Christ.
Bailey's number one favorite movie.
It's not even close. I just think
they really cheer hard for it.
It's just not as bad as like some people are just like that movie was shit. And I'm like, it's got a great score, great costume design, good acting.
I just don't think you had to deal with the trauma.
I didn't have to deal with the trauma of the Passion of the Christ.
Being 19 and having to go to it with your Bible study all the time.
You're right. I only had to do it when I was like 10.
Yeah. Like you were just like with your family. I had to go to it as an adult.
And that's more traumatic than seeing it as a kid?
100%.
Okay. That would be the first of that take. But you can have this one.
No, you didn't have to have a million theological discussions about it in college with everyone who thinks they're so smart and cool.
I didn't have to interrogate the Passion of the Christ. I could just enjoy it for what
and
it was.
evangelize everyone through it. Did she have to
I
do that?
didn't do a lot of evangelism through the
I was like,
Passion
oh,
of
did
the
you
Christ.
invite your non-Christian friend to see the Passion of the Christ?
No.
Like,
Yeah.
no, they don't want to.
Most kids my age weren't allowed to see the Passion of the Christ because
R.
well, it's also so graphic. It's like a hard R too.
Yeah, but Christians love that.
Yeah, so like we were seeing it, but I couldn't like invite my friends to come see the Passion of the Christ with me.
Okay, anyway, the whole reason I'm bringing this up is there is a weird little devil baby in the Passion of the Christ. If I can put up a picture, I will.
I think about that baby almost every day of my life.
I'll see if I can get like a media kits shot or something.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, I said, because I literally texted you and I was like, you got to talk about the devil baby and the Passion of the Christ and all the lore around that.
So then I just literally had to Google it.
Yeah, because there
And
was a
find
lot
out.
of evangelical theories about the devil baby.
Yeah. So if you remember, it is in a scene where there's these Roman soldiers. That's really all I know. What else
They're
is going on in
whipping
the scene?
Jesus.
Okay, they're whipping Jesus. And there's this androgynous human character,
The devil.
the devil.
Yeah.
And they are holding this, like, definitely not a baby, but also a baby.
The deformed old man baby looking
Yeah,
thing.
little Benjamin Button.
Yeah, and they're
Bald.
walking, they're unseen to everybody on the scene except for Mary, Mother of God.
So this was really shot to disturb people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's what a lot of people only remember.
There's a lot of disturbing parts of that movie, but I think what is so weird about it is that it's so confusing and it's not really explained.
Yeah.
And my thing is like, it's symbolic, and we'll talk about the symbolism of it, but like evangelicals can't handle symbolism or metaphor. And so
Yeah.
they were so obsessed with figuring out specifically who the devil baby was.
Yeah.
When it was like, the devil baby is nothing. The devil, like, because Mel Gibson is Catholic. My understanding, and like I think he admitted to this, is that it's a mockery of Madonna and Child, because like Satan is holding the baby like Mary would hold Jesus, and then Satan makes eye contact with Mary, so it's like this mockery where she's grieving like the murder of her son. But they're like, no, that's the Antichrist. Like that, it's not a mockery. It's not like a metaphor. It's like they don't understand like artistry in film. And so they're like, that's an actual character. And they thought it was like the birth of the Antichrist.
Yeah. So the theories are the baby represents the Antichrist. It's making a mockery of Mary and Jesus.
Mm-hmm. That makes
Satan
more sense.
birthing evil into the world.
Mm-hmm.
A demonic inversion of the Madonna and the Child.
Mm-hmm.
Or Satan carries a demonic child, probably the Antichrist. Yeah. But I did get a quote from Mel Gibson. Personally, I interviewed him and I got this quote.
He's Ashley's uncle.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's evil distorting what's good. What is more tender and beautiful than a mother and a child? So the devil takes that and distorts it just a little bit. Instead of a normal mother and child, you have an androgynous figure holding a 40-year-old baby with hair on his back.
That's a little bit of an inversion.
It is weird. It is shocking. It's almost too much. Just like turning Jesus over to continue scourging him on his chest is shocking and almost too much, which is the exact moment when the appearance of the devil and the baby takes place.
What a freak. I mean, I kind of think it's like a cool idea.
I miss the Mel Gibson that was in the movie Forever Young with Elijah Wood.
I do like that movie.
That's the one I grew up on when he's that old man in the ice.
I do love, one thing I do like the dark spirituality of the Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, her number one favorite movie.
No, I do think that like it being like a political movie like of that time, and also like combined with like lore and like the like lore of like that time, like I guess like demons, but just like it's just kind of cool.
It's just very much like bucket time, you know?
I mean, I understand
It's I don't like bucket times.
Yeah. If evangelical Christianity didn't exist and that movie was just like in and of itself like a story, it would be cool.
Maybe.
If you like
it's
horror
like
films.
horror.
If you like horror. Like if you like horror films and you like
Sinners
anything
is as far as I go to horror. Sinners and Weapons.
Okay.
That's my line.
Fair.
Begonia. Those are all it.
Okay.
I don't like actual horror movies.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to say about this little baby?
Nope. If anything, I've said too much.
I gotta say, I went to Reddit to try to find like some funny comments about Passion of the Christ, and what I was met with was a bunch of people saying, "I just watched it; it's so good," and then they're like evangelizing to each other, and they're all weird fangirls. I was like, "This isn't what Reddit is for."
That also wouldn't have happened like 10 years ago.
It's like
it would have been like dogpiling on the Passion of the Christ. That's because of like the culture shift to the far right.
It's weird.
And everyone's converting to like Catholicism. It's really weird. It was probably just like Nick Fuentes with all his like little like burner accounts just like talking about the Passion of the Christ to each other.
All right. Anything else to say about the devil and your attraction to him?
I just think that give me 6 minutes in a room alone with him and I can change him.
Oh my God. Don't ask for that.
Why not?
Do you think he's real?
No. I think that like power corruption is real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the devil is not real.
I could find you a man with like a pointy face and a pointy beard.
I like pointy beards. I like point. I like harsh features. Like I don't like a Euro West like centric like Western face. Like I like a larger nose and like stronger
like a Levity
cheekbones.
Snicket vibe.
I was thinking like Eastern Europe down to like the Middle East, like that region. Very very handsome man.
Very handsome man.
Very handsome man.
All right. Well, I think that's it. We're wrapped up on hell, the devil, and you'll have to see what's next. Mm-hmm. Blessed are the listeners, for they shall erase the imagery of the evil Antichrist devil baby from the Passion of the Christ from their minds. You can find us on praisebetopod.com on the web and Praise Be to Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and Patreon. It is finished. Bye.